Real talk now. You should never, ever get a tarot reading. Astrology is a little bit different, and I will go into that. But tarot cards and those sort of things, if you are somebody who's conscious, aware, and manifesting, never ever get a tarot reading. It's so pointless. And I can tell you this because I worked as a tarot reader for many years. Okay, so I think I've mentioned a little bit on the channel about how I got into being a tarot reader, but basically from when I was like a kid, I used to have dreams, and then those things would then go on to happen. I think my first recollection of having a dream and it happening, I was probably about 7 years old. And, I dreamed whatever, and the next day I woke up and it all played out the way I saw it in my dream. And I remember saying to my Mum, I dreamed about this. And she was like, oh. But yeah. So I've always been like into like psychic things, and I loved Charmed. I loved all that kind of supernatural, Buffy, the Vampire Slayer, all that kind of stuff. I loved it. I was just really into it, really drawn to all that kind of stuff. So when I got older, I didn't consider myself a psychic, but I went through some sort of spiritual awakening, okay? And this is when, the people around me started saying, like, you're a psychic, blah, blah, blah. And I just used to have so many weird experiences. Now, I'd have these experiences where I think about things and then they'd happen. So obviously, my my automatic assumption was that I was a psychic. Yes, I knew about the law of attraction, but I didn't understand it the way I do now. I didn't understand that we are the operant power in our reality. And I feel like many people do that as well. Many people believe in the law of attraction. They will still go get tarot. They believe, I would want to say like a percentage, yeah? They believe in manifesting up to a point. They'll go and get tarot readings, or they'll expect somebody else to be able to do something for them, or it's just weird. So it's like, yeah, there's a stop point. So that's kind of where I was. So yeah, I got into tarot readings and whatever, and I did it for quite a while. It was quite successful for me. I made, enough money to look after myself and my kids off of tarot readings. I think I started first doing it when I was like in my teens, and then I kind of stopped, but I didn't do it for other people then. I just did it for myself. And then, after I had my kids, I got back into it and actually started providing a service. Now, obviously, I was having my spiritual awakening, and I'm sure as many of you know, there are various stages of going through an awakening or having some sort of understanding. So my spiritual awakening was quite abrupt and even quite scary in the beginning. But, I just had to kind of get through it, go through the darkness into the light sort of thing. So, I kind of got through that part of it, and then I started experiencing more, to be absolutely honest with you, the only terminology I could put it to get you to explain it is like angelic kind of energy, angelic influence. And this is when I learned that energy, everything is energy, everything is vibration. But in science, they tell us this as well, because they talk about how everything's just atoms vibrating at a specific rate. Nothing is actually solid or what it truly appears to, what it appears to be to us. It's actually something quite different to what it appears to be to our eye. We just create the form based off of the vibrational rate, and then the eye's like, yeah, boom, that's a chair because it's vibrating at that rate. So yeah. So I learned that based on your own vibration, your thoughts, feelings, and what you're thinking is what you are going to experience or have contact with in the spiritual realm. So, a low vibration, you're going to have a more lower vibrational energy around you and maybe not have such a nice experience, maybe have a bit more of a scary experience. If you're on a high vibration, you're there with the unconditional love vibes and all that kind of stuff, you're going to be in contact with beings that would be considered to be angels or to be very angelic. So yeah, I learned that a while back because I noticed there was a very significant difference in the experiences I was having depending on the kind of energy I was feeling. So I taught myself then to be very picky about my thoughts and to really try and hone in on the love vibes, which was very testing at times. And it was really a choice because I could have really continued to sit in the negative vibes and just be unhappy and gosh, why is all these cards being dealt to me? I'm not talking about tarot cards. I'm just talking about, the cards of life and why am I having all these scary experiences and it's so alienating and all that kind of stuff. But I just thought, no, I cannot continue. And, I had stuff going on in my personal life, and I mentioned this in a video about how to have a good relationship with anybody. Check it out. I might put an icon up, yeah. But yeah, I just decided I could not live like that anymore. I just couldn't have those negative kind of feelings towards people. And I feel like I've always kind of felt like that. Like there's certain programs and stuff that I just wouldn't watch because I felt like if I watch this, I'm going to have certain feelings towards certain people and I don't want to feel like that towards anybody. So I'd rather not. That doesn't mean I don't get angry because another thing I learned is vibration, it takes a second to change your vibration. Vibration is not a fixed state. This is what they mean when they say, oh, nothing's actually solid. Nothing is solid. Nothing is in a fixed state. It can always be changed. We're always fluctuating. So yeah, vibration can shift very quickly. So you can go from being on a low vibration to being on a really high vibration, or to being on a high vibration to being on a medium vibration, and so on and so forth, and just keep going backwards and forward and bouncing around, because that's the beauty of being human and having those options available to you, is that you can actually try them all and see what they feel like in the same day. You'll be a bit all over the place, but you literally can, and most of us do without realizing it. A good example of this is you go to the shop and they haven't got what you wanted and you really wanted this thing, so now you're feeling a bit low, but you go to the till and the shopkeeper's really nice and they tell you a funny joke and they make you laugh, they make you smile, now you're feeling good again. And then you walk down the road and something else happens and you're like, don't really mind about that. That's the neutrality, that's the medium vibration. So yeah, we're always doing it, okay? We're always in this constant state of vibrational flux. Now, what does this have to do with tarot cards? Because when you go to get a tarot reading, you're going because you're asking about something specific. Most people don't really get a tarot read. Well, some people do get tarot readings, just like, oh, what's coming up in general? But there's usually something they want to hear about, or they already have some sort of addiction problem, some sort of programming going on within them that they don't believe themselves to be the operant power. Because firstly, if you're getting a tarot reading, you're asking somebody else to tell you what's going to happen. So you're not the operant power in that reality as far as you're concerned, which is BS, because you are. You are the operant power. But that's number one thing with manifesting, where it's fucking it up already, okay? So that's the biggest thing. We don't want to have that belief system. We want to have the belief system in the knowing and the understanding that we've been given life, and through being given life and this experience, to have our free wills, our free energetic expressions. I'm talking about the number 3, and I'm also talking about the freedom to do it all. We are the operant power, and we've been given the ability to shape our reality and to create off of that. So number 2, when you go to somebody to get a reading and you're asking about something that you want to happen, you're asking about that thing because you want reassurance that that's going to happen. So already you don't believe it. You don't believe what you want is going to happen. You're in the energy of doubt. This is where it gets, because we know that what vibration we're on, we get more of. And that was kind of the point of me trying to explain that vibrational thing that I noticed. And this is, I knew of the law of attraction and manifesting and stuff like that at that time, but through various things that have happened in my life and that I've seen, and I've made intentions before to like know truth and all that sort of stuff, this is what's become clear to me. So as soon as you go onto that energy, you're going to get more proof of, why it ain't gonna happen and why your doubt is right, and why we just get back more of what we're given. So like I said, if I get myself onto a high vibration, I can actually communicate with beings that are angelic in nature, or just have wonderful experiences where, like, I don't know, I'll be talking to somebody, be really high, happy, and like big butterflies will just come over and land on me. Or if I'm trying to uplift that person, it will land on them. Doesn't matter who that person really is, it's about the energy that I'm sharing with that person. So yeah, more deep things than that, but I'm not going to make this video about that. But that's just like a little, most people recognize butterflies as being, an angelic sign or whatever. But yeah, so vibration is key, guys. Come on, you cannot say I'm manifesting this thing but I don't believe it. Why hasn't it shown up yet? Let me go to the tarot reader. They're going to read me. They're going to tell me what's going to happen. They're going to reassure me. 9 out of 10 of the tarot readings I did, all right, I'll be a bit nice and say 8 out of 10 of the tarot readings I did were shit. They were awful. You don't want to hear that crap. Like, you don't want to hear that. It got to the point that people would ask me, oh, is my boyfriend cheating? I'll say, if you feel like he's cheating, he probably is. That's one thing that I picked up on. Again, one thing, like I've picked up on a lot of things. I'd just say one thing for some weird reason. But yeah, that was another thing that I picked up on. Whatever their fear was usually turned out to be right in regards to the cards. So I started noticing a trend, and I started thinking, what is this? What happens when you get a tarot reading is the cards just mirror what your subconscious believes to be true at the time. Remember what I said, vibration and all that, we're always changing, we're always in a fluctuation. So just because you believe that, your subconscious believes that to be true at 10 a.m. in the day, it doesn't mean that by 10:30 you don't have a different belief about that. It can change, and it can change really quickly. It can change really easily, and it's great. It's such a blessing. That's why our manifestations don't come through straight away, because we're always in this state of, well, not always, but we have to practice holding a certain vibration, because the nature of our world is that things change, constant flux around us. Atoms, the life cycle. You start as a baby, you end as an old person, you die, you have another life. Everything is always changing around us. That is the nature of it. So then people will hear a crazy prediction, believe it because they, believe in this tarot reader. They believe this tarot reader is more powerful than they are, and go off and manifest what they've been told. But like I said, 9 times out of 10, the reading doesn't come up great anyway, because all it's tapping, you're asking a question based off of doubt. So now your answer is going to be based off of the doubt that you just put out. So we get more of what we've put out. So if you put out doubt, you ain't going to get back like, oh yeah, it's going to work out for you. It doesn't work like that. That's not how the thing's set up. That's not how our world is set up for us. So yeah, and it got to the point that I would be able to tell you what cards are going to come out before I even pulled the cards. And I got into a state of like watching other tarot readers, and they'd say stuff, and then they'd be like, oh my god, the 10 of cups, I was so right. See guys, the cards don't lie. Well, obviously, come on now. You know the energy that you're putting out, and also it's about the belief system of the tarot reader. So if I believe this and that, and this is another reason why they say, oh, different people read cards different and they have different meanings to different people. Yeah, because we're the ones that are doing it. Ultimately, everybody is an expression of yourself. So whoever's getting the reading is ultimately doing it. But yeah, like if I thought the reading was going to come out crap before I even touched the cards, it would come out crap. If I thought it was going to come out good, it's going to come out good. But it would be very difficult for it to come out good because the person's already brought the energy of they don't believe in whatever they're saying. So all their non-beliefs are going to just come up. All their fears are going to be shown. So it's just like, do yourself a favour, please. And you know, was another thing that was very annoying. Okay, so say you're not predicting future events, you're doing like events that are happening now. Like sometimes you get these people who just like pull out names. They'll be like, do you know a Paul? Well, who doesn't know a Paul? Number one. Number two, you're paying people to literally tell you events that are happening around you now. And then people will be like, oh, you're so good. That's all happening now. Yeah, you already know what's happening in your life. Why do you need somebody else that you've paid to tell you what is going on? None of it makes sense. It's an absolute waste of time. You know, some people, I've watched a thing the other day where a tarot reader, not the other day, this was a while back, okay, because I've seen this topic floating around quite a few times, and I've seen a lot of manifesting people try to answer it, but they don't answer it correctly because it's like they don't even know really what's going on there. But I know because I've done it, I've seen it, and how I even really understood how powerful we are and how powerful manifesting is was linked to that journey and was linked to my whole spiritual journey and all these weird circumstances and events and whatever. So I think somebody said they went to get a reading and the reader confirmed what it is that they wanted to know, and they used that reading to enhance their manifestation and all that. Yeah, somebody like that, you could do that maybe once in a blue moon, okay? Maybe once in a blue moon, because she's already on her manifesting, number one. And number two, she took it as light, like she took it as not a big deal. Some people go to get readings like it's their last flipping option in life, like they can't do anything else unless this reader tells them exactly what they want to hear. People really get addicted to readings. I'd have people coming and wanting readings every week. I'd say wait at least 6 weeks. I could take your money, I could do the reading, but it's going to come up exactly the same, or it's just really quite a pointless activity. So, you know, for even that woman that I'm talking about who did the law of attraction stuff, for her to even go and get a reading, maybe she just saw it as jest, maybe she just saw it as fun. But yeah, I'd advise don't do it. I don't read cards anymore. I left that behind in 2020. I've had people ask me, like beg me to do readings, and I'm just like, no. I don't watch readings anymore. No. It's just very pointless, and it's an activity where the cards are controlling your life, but the cards are based off of your subconscious and your fears. So it can get kind of trappy. It gets into like one big cycle. So yeah, I would just say don't get readings. If you want to know any more about the readings, you can, I'm going to start leaving my email address down below, like you guys can email me or whatever. But yeah, don't get readings. It's really just not helpful. There's nothing in there for you other than to waste your time and energy and just take you down a rabbit hole that goes absolutely nowhere other than exposing your own fears to you. So yeah. So secondly, astrology is kind of cool, okay, but ultimately we are the ultimate power. So it's whatever meaning you assign to something. So yeah, we have the basic meanings in astrology. I kind of have developed a different system of astrology that sometimes I kind of bring up from time to time because I do kind of really like astrology. But even that, I've tried to just kind of step back from that because I feel like it's an easy system for me to understand other people and determine whether I want them around. I'd be like, do I feel like I'm gonna like this person based off of what they're saying? I'm not too sure right now. Let's look at their astrology chart. Don't know. All right, I might give this one a miss. I'm gonna wait till I see a Venus in Cancer, or do you know what I mean? So it gets a bit silly there as well. When ultimately, I'm the operant power. I don't really need to worry about what an astrology chart says, simply because I'm the one that's manifesting or creating people. But I tell you something, when I was getting into manifesting, I used to do things like I'd want to manifest people with a certain sign. So I'd want to manifest like a Mars in Scorpio, but it has to be in the first house. And actually he has to have this sun. His sun has to be in a fire sign and blah, blah. And they'd come through every fucking time. It was crazy. Like, well, it's not crazy, but it was crazy to me then. Because I'd be like, what? Like I manifested their whole chart, like the person's whole fucking natal chart would look exactly how I said. And sometimes I do that now, but I find that when I do the manifesting a certain sign, there's shit that comes with them that I don't like, and I don't care to figure it out or mental diet all this, oh, they're the perfect one. I'm just like, okay, I've experienced this, thank you for showing up, bye now. Like I'm not really interested anymore. Yeah, but with astrology, there's like a little bit of validness there, because remember, everything is energy. Astrology doesn't necessarily talk about life predicting events so much as it shows you the energy that, or the amounts of energy or the focus of energy that people are born with. So, okay, Venus in Cancer, this is the energy of Venus. That's the energizing body. Cancer is the style, and whatever house it is what area of life it supposedly affects. But there's various different ways to look at it, and there's various different ways that could play out. So for that one placement, that could have 1,000 different meanings. Top that off with the rest of the chart, and then the aspects they're making, it has so many meanings. Whereas with tarot, yeah, the cards do have different meanings, but it's a very short time frame. Whatever you read in tarot, that's another thing as well. Big warning to anybody who's ever had a tarot reading. If you've had a tarot reading and they're telling you in 5 years blah 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 is going to happen, that is fucking bullshit. That is fucking bullshit. You cannot get any kind of prediction off of a tarot reading other than something you've already manifested. What do I mean by that? Yes, it can be events that haven't happened yet, but they're so nearly physical. The vibration rate of whatever this person's telling you is showing up because it's basically already in the 3D. You may not just be able to see it yet, but that shit has already gone down, let me tell you. So you're going to get like a time frame of maybe about 3 months, 6 months, maximum a year, but I don't really even see that. It's very rare that you see a prediction a year onwards, unless... Okay, so I'm talking about if somebody's actually reading you. Now, what can happen, though, is somebody can tell you this event's going to happen based off of the cards and what they think, and you go on to manifest it for yourself through the influence of this person. But if somebody's picking up on something that you have specifically had in your mind already, and even if you can't actually see it yet, it's just because you have already kind of manifested it, or it was nearly in the 3D, and you was like, oh, I don't know if I believe in that, and then they say it to you, you're like, oh, actually I do believe in that, and then it manifests. So timing with astrology is very different. They do things like solar returns, which is a whole year's worth of astrological energies. But again, it's not fixed. It's much more fluid and much more expansive than a tarot reading. Tarot reading is very, it tries to give this very fixed kind of energy. And we know this is bullshit because we know absolutely nothing is fixed. It's all energy, all vibration. So yeah, I really wouldn't waste my time with tarot readings. I am even funny about astrology. But one thing I will say about astrology, what's very interesting, is that I have done little experiments where I will not check any planetary movements out and not figure out what's going on. But then I will somehow end up finding out, the planetary movements, and say Jupiter's in, I don't know, Capricorn, or just some random thing that's happening, and I'll find out, and because I know my own natal chart, I'll realize, oh right, that's why I've been doing such and such. I find that people the planets have an energetic influence, whereas people start doing things around certain times. This is what I meant when I said, I don't believe in destiny, but at the same time, do you desire that thing because you was always going to desire that thing? Or do you, where does that desire really come from, They say we desire, well, it's true. The things that we desire us. They want to be brought into our reality. But at the same time, yeah, it's just very interesting. So, yeah, I find that people start to do those sort of things. So, okay, say something's just popped off, you've got Mars and it's just moved into your career sector. All of a sudden, you've started amping up, what you're doing in career, how you're making money. You're taking no shit from anybody when it comes to your business. But you don't follow astrology and you don't realise that planetary movements even happened, but it's somehow affecting you. But then again, that's my own personal belief. So everything is me pushed out. So probably I'm just seeing it in the rest of the world. But yeah, I don't know. Energy is different. I feel like energy is different. But with the tarot, it tries to fix things, like literally a fixed state, and even fixing people's problems and stuff like that. There's nobody in this world that can do anything for you that you cannot do for yourself. No one is an operant power. No one is closer to God than you are. No one is more aware of your situation than you are. Nobody has a better moral compass for what you should do in your life than you. So do not let anybody convince you otherwise. Yeah, we all need support sometimes. Yeah, sometimes we do need that. That's absolutely fine. But don't go giving or attempting to give over your power to people, because you can't even really do that. It's like when people say, oh, sell their soul. You can't sell your soul. You don't own it. Like, you're part of something larger than that. It's a silly, but anyway, so that's my video on tarot readings and psychic stuff by an ex-psychic, by an ex-tarot reader. And those are my thoughts and my personal experiences in that situation. I just say again, don't waste your time, don't waste your money. We're manifesting, we're making it happen. It's all you, baby. It's nobody else. It's just one big world of you. So keep manifesting, keep making your dreams come true, and leave all that shit behind in 2020. Take care. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Bye.